Hey, what's up, boys? It's people here. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today I want to talk about base layouts because I feel like some things have changed a little bit in the recent patch, and I'm gonna explain to you why in a few minutes. So I want to start against Orc, okay? So against Orc, usually you want to block your base, okay? So let's say ideally, you want to like pretty much replicate a base like this against Orc. So you know, let's say we have like the most standard Undead build, right? We have a graveyard here. You have, let's say, your Zig over here next to each other because you don't want to have like a space in between. And let's say you have your shop over here. What it does is you will not accept, you will not have any open space for a Blade Master to harass you later game. And also, if a Farser wants to harass you and wants to send you his Wolves level 2 to harass you while you're teching, your base will be blocking it. And the Wolves has basically the same size as a hero. So, you know, here you can see I'm trying to sneak in and it's not working. Usually you want to have as well your crypt in the front. You want to have maybe your altar. So the altar is very, very tricky. So the altar, you want to have your altar usually in range of the shop. So let's over here. Maybe like here works, you know. So what that does is when your DK is about to spawn out of the altar, you are going to be in range of the shop, and you can buy Ruz right away and just go to the creep. So imagine I make my altar here. That doesn't make sense because the first creep that you do on last refuge or on any map that is usually a green camp, right? So if I have my altar here, I'm gonna have to walk all of that time. You know, let's say I start from here and I go over here. Well, if I spawn here, I can buy my Road of Currency right away, and I can straight up run to the creeps. This is one thing that people do with every races. Like, human will build an altar over here, Orcs, Night Elf, because you have less travel time with your heroes. So you can save a few seconds here and there. And this is why probably sometimes people will be quicker than you, and you're wondering like why you're so slow. So against Orc, you know, nothing too complicated. You want to have like your Zig blocking, access to Blade Master, your shop in the back, a graveyard, and you sort of house, you can make it over here later. And then for the rest, it doesn't really matter, you know. Maybe a sacrificial pit there. So for Orc, that's pretty much it. Blocking your base, very, 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 very important. Even myself, sometimes happens to me. My base is open, I get harassed, I lose acolytes, my tech is slow, I lose a game, and that's GG. Okay, now I want to do against human. So against human, basically, you don't really want to have a block base, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So against human, usually you want to have a pretty open base, I'd say, because human players will usually harass you, and they will often basically drop a Zeppelin onto your gold mine later game. And the reason why you might say, yeah, but Enzo, like, Orc harasses me, but you tell me to block my base against Orc because he harassed me, but like, you're telling me human harasses me, but I don't block my base? Like, why? So the reason is foodies have the same space, it's the same collision size as a ghoul, and human players, we can all agree they make foodies a lot, right? So when human players harass you, the foodies will still sneak behind your buildings, even if it's blocked for bigger collision size units. So by basically having a more open base, you make it easier for you to like walk into your base and be able to defend. So what I suggest is you can have your graveyard over here. You can have, let's say, your crypt over here. If I have a graveyard here or here, doesn't matter. You can have, let's say, your altar like here, whatever. You can have your shop here. Obviously, I'm not telling you to like have all of the left space. What you can instead is do this. You can like maybe build a Zig over here. And maybe have like a Zig over here. Or sometimes you want to make Zig in the back like this, right here. So what that does is, if a human harasses you and drops a Zeppelin onto your gold mine, you'll be able to run back from whatever you're doing and be able to fight him. While if you're just blocking your base, the human will just do whatever the fuck he wants to. And now you're sitting here like an idiot, you're trying to fight him, but he's just behind the Zig. And now here you are with your... Sorry about that. Yeah, you're here with your Dead Knight and Fiends, and you're trying to go behind, but you can't because this guy dropped a Zeppelin, so he's flying all around. So a more open space is very good, and it makes it just easier to like be able to target something. As if everything is blocked, the foodies can just walk as much as they want, and it's really easy for them to micro and get out. So against human, you usually want to have like a few things in the back, and the reason is because of the Zeppelin. So sometimes you know that Zeppelin is coming, you saw him by Zeppelin at the lab, but if you have like towers ready, the towers will be in range of the gold mine. Because human players usually what they go for your gold mine. So, as if you have like towers in front, but the tower is not be reaching the back. So yeah, that's pretty much it for human. Against orc, block your base. Human, open base. So let's do Night Elf now. So Night Elf is actually something that I've found out recently that I feel has been very, very useful in my game. I just wait for all the buildings to drain out. Yeah, a little bit not prepared too well. I should have loaded a game where all the buildings were not there, so sorry for the small delay. Okay, so against Night Elf, okay, I'll just save right there on the layout. Okay, so against Night Elf, it is something I found recently. It is something that I think I heard one talk about it on his stream the other day, and he seemed to agree with me. And it's funny because like he actually thought about the same thing too. So against Elf and the current patch, Night Elf players love to play Keeper. So what sometimes people do is they're gonna pick Keeper of the Grove, and they will harass you as you're teching. So like I said, altar doesn't change, your shop, whatever, here doesn't matter. And against Elf, you don't really want to block your base. Because for the same reason that sometimes they drop with a Zeppelin with bears and get your gold mine. Against Elf, I think the most important is to have a tower in the front. So let's say over here. In the middle. Not too much at the bottom, not too much at the top. And the logic beyond that is, well, your graveyard doesn't matter too much. You can have your graveyard here. What I'm saying here is, I don't think you should worry too much about how you place your base against Elf. What you should worry about is having a tower in front. So Night Elf players are very aggressive, and they will often try to play aggressive with DK, Demon Hunter Archer, Keeper of the Grove, Archer. They will sometimes harass you. And the issue is, if you have a tower here, right, and the Night Elf Keeper comes in your base as you're teching, yes, your tower may be slowly Keeper, but it will not block him from using Treants over here and using Tangle on one of your Acolytes, which result in an insta-kill pretty much. And then you have to cancel your tech, or you have less gold. You're tilted, you lose the game. But having a tower in the front, what that does is the Night Elf, basically, that comes from the top or the bottom. Even if it tries to be very sneaky and come from here, the tower will be in range, and your shop will be blocking. So what that does is, eventually Keeper's coming here, right? And you have goals in your lumber. Usually you have 3 goals in your lumber. So I just try to recreate a situation, you know, as much as I can. Does this my old shit? Yes, it does. Okay. So imagine I have a Keeper right there. And I'm teching. And then I'm trying to go for an harass, but the tower goes in, and then you can use your goals to like block the hero, and then you can move your acolytes from here to the back. So what that does is you have more time to react to a potential harass from the Keeper, and then you can come back to your base. You can take your goal, block the Keeper, and he takes damage. So this is why you want to have a tower in the front against Night Elf. Very, very, very important. I'm still trying myself to wrap my head around it and always do it every game, and when I do not do that, I highly regret it. So it's the same against Demon Hunter, you know. Let's say Demon Hunter's trying to be aggressive, he's in front of you, you have a tower, and bonus point, your tower can help you creep this later on. You can pull a creep will come over here, and then you can creep with the tower. So little tricks like that, you know. It's like a bonus point. I feel like it's almost like a no-brainer to do that. The tower's a bit on the hill as well, so I feel like it's really good to do it like that's, for example, okay, you just creep like that, and then, ooh, you know, it's around. Obviously, don't have acolytes, but you know, just trying to show you, you know, how it can be done. And then, oh, you're creeping in your base. All hope is that not only do you have defense, but you're also in your base and you're getting experience. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it for Night Elf. Tower in the front, must. It is a must. Okay, now here's to something that is new in this patch. So one of the most important changes of the last patch was the beetles, not the level 1 beetles, but the big ones have now bigger collision size. So what that means is a beetle level 1 will have the same size as an acolyte, which means that you can sneak behind buildings. Level 2 beetles, so at level 3 Crypt Lord, has the same size of a Fiend or hero. which means that it is bigger and it is harder for seeing at the beginning of a base. So against Undead, recently what I recommend to do is, I think you kind of want to build the same type of base that you build against Orc in a way. Because the logic is, if you build your Zig too forward, we all know how cheese Crypt Lord is, right? Crypt Lord, 6 beetles, ghouls, skeletons, a lot of stuff, right? If you have a tower in the front, let's say, or just a Zig, it makes it so easier for the guy to come in your base and just snipe this Zig right away, surround it with a million units and kill it. So if you have your Zig in the back, not only do you have protection for your acolytes by having towers, but not only that, you will also be able to block, and that is the most important thing. People love to be able to harass your acolytes, right? And when they had a small size, they were not capable of sinking behind buildings. I mean, they were capable of sinking behind buildings. Sorry, but now with the bigger size, DK is the same size as the little 2 beetles. Oh, it's blocked. So you don't have to worry now about teching and having to deal with 6 beetles killing acolytes when you're creeping or fighting, which is one of the most obnoxious shit to deal with. So I suggest against Undead that people start using blocking base like that. I feel like it's so useful, especially against Crypt Lord. Against other matchups like DK Fiends or Lich Ghoul, doesn't really matter that much. But I feel like it is so important, man. Zing in the front gets sniped all the time. Zing in the back blocks any access for beetles. So I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna try to leave a timestamp in the description down below if you want to watch something in particular or go back. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Much love. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, see ya.